You're now listening to TSC Rapid Fire on the PRO Media Network.
What's up, sports world? What's going on? It's Big Q from the Sports Coma. Got DC on the line. What's happening, DC?
Yo, what up?
And this is the TSC Rapid Fire LSU recapping the LSU Tigers 33-17 win over the Miami Hurricanes. Of course, the Tigers were ranked at 25 in the top ranking, the AP polls coming into this game. The Hurricanes, they were 8th ranked in the nation coming into this game. LSU didn't play no games, man. They were able to get the thing done. They spanked them 33-17 in a very nice affair. LSU was in control of this game from start to finish. Miami did make a late attempt to make a late run later in the game by putting up 2 scores in the fourth quarter, but LSU defense held firm and were able to stop Miami cold in its tracks, basically de-escalated the hurricane to a tropical depression. So outside of that, Joe Burrow, who was the LSU quarterback, 11 of 24 for 140 yards on the night for Mr. Burrow. He also scampered and got out of trouble, had an 11-yard run as he scrambled 4 times for 14 yards, showing his wheels. Top rusher for the LSU team, which were able to put up 41 carries, 156 yards, and 2 scores on all of the backs, including Nick Brissett, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Chris Curry. But Nick Brissett, it was his night, 22 carries, 125 yards, averaged almost 6 yards a carry. Plus, he had 2 touchdowns and 150-yard run for a touchdown that ultimately broke the game open for the Tigers. He was fantastic. Wide receivers for the Tigers is Justin Jefferson showed up big. He had 5 catches for 81 yards, averaged about 16 yards a catch. Outside of that, the LSU defense was spectacular. The best linebacker in college, Devin White, leads the charge for the young LSU defense. 8 total tackles on a night, 4 solos. He had 1 QB hurry on the night, followed by him. Jacob Phillips had 7 tackles, 2 solos. Grant Delpit, the excellent safety, 6 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss in the QB hurry. Chasen had 5 tackles, 3 solos. He had a sack in the game, 1 tackle for loss, and also 1 QB hurry. Now, he was tied with Glenn Logan for 5 tackles as well in the game. K. Vincent Jr. and Patrick Queen, those guys both had 4 tackles apiece. Now, overall, the LSU Tigers were able to get 4 sacks in the game. Big ups to Michael Divinity Jr., 3 tackles. He had a sack and a half in this game. Also a half a sacks from Breeden Fehoko. Big ups to those guys. 2 interceptions by the LSU defense. 1 took to the house by Jacob Phillips, the safety. He ran 1 back 45 yards. And of course, John Battle, he had an interception return for 29 yards. Wasn't a touchdown, but good attempts by those guys. Also, big ups to the LSU special teams. Cole Tracy, the young kicker, 4-4, and he even kicked a 54-yarder. So big ups to the LSU special teams, big ups to the LSU defense, and even big ups to the LSU offense as the team showed the nation just to start off that the LSU Tigers, we may be young, we might have some questions, but hey, we here to play. DC, you heard everything I said. You heard the statistics, you heard the stats. What's your take on this game, LSU knocking off the Hurricanes?
Man, I think they went out there like gangbusters, man, and shut it down, bro. You know, I was very impressed with the way they opened the game, the veracity that they played with, just the attitude, really, to me, won the game. They came out there in the pregame, and the Miami players were talking trash. They got into it, got into a little skirmish. You saw some unworthy fingers being held up by a Miami player. And even during then, LSU kept it classy. They stood their ground, didn't let Miami punk them. But it almost looked like Miami was trying to do too much extra. And it didn't transition well for them into the game. So I think LSU took that in the beginning and they harnessed all that, man, and they turned it into a butt whipping and basically knocked them Hurricanes clean up out the water, man. Every phase of the game they won in the first half of the game. Before halftime, the game was pretty much over. And the score would indicate that it was a lot closer than it really was. That's because LSU took Devin White out of the game and a few other just starters. And Chason also got injured. So the defense took a few hits and they also set some players down. So that allowed the Hurricanes to come in and get a few touchdowns. They earned it, but still, nonetheless, LSU was very impressive, man. And if this is the tone that they're gonna carry throughout the season, they're gonna make a lot of people eat their words on them being overranked and ranking them at 25. They jumped all the way up to 11 or so, I believe now, right?
Absolutely. That's what we're going to cover too. The fact that LSU Tigers did leapfrog all the way from 25 to number 11 in the AP poll. So big up for the Tigers knocking off the Miami Hurricanes. Also, a little information before we get to our Coach O interview. We get into that. We're going to look at some of the injuries that occurred during this game. Offensive lineman Adrian McGee, he went down in this game. He will miss about 2 to 3 weeks, according to reports that we're receiving about his injury. Clavion Chasen, he was a guy that had an injury to his leg as well, and it is reported that he will be out for the rest of the season. So the Tigers will have to replace his production. This guy was going to have a huge season. The Tigers are deep on the defense, and they'll find somebody to kind of fill in that role if they have to do it by committee approach, or somebody has to step up and do what they got to do. Of course, the same thing applies to Adrian McGee, who will be out for a couple of weeks. Trafori is a guy that might be a potential replacement for Adrian McGee. Now, let's get right into Coach O, his interview, as he talked about the win over the Miami Hurricane. Here's Coach O.
Proud of the leadership of our football team and the preparation by our coaches. I thought those guys were very well prepared for an outstanding opponent in Miami. We played 7 true freshmen. We plan to play more. Those guys played very well, worked hard, and we'll look forward to playing more this year. Very proud of winning the turnover margin. 0 turnovers for the offense was a phenomenal feat against a defense that thrives on causing turnovers, and +2 turnovers for our defense. Special teams I thought was excellent. Cole Tracy 4 of 4. The first block punt we had called, we had a guy wide open. We need to get better at practice blocking those punts. That was perhaps a touchdown there. We made a couple errors in the kicking game that I know Coach McMahon is going to fix this week. We should have fair caught one of our kickoffs to give us better field position. But other than that, I thought that Coach McMahon did a superb job of putting our guys in special situations. Proud of Nick Brissett. Nick has waited his turn here. I thought he did an excellent job of the game, both blocking and running. And I was proud of Jacob Phillips. I thought Jacob had an excellent game. I know that we want to eliminate the penalty that he had, but I thought he stepped in and did very well. On to Southeast Louisiana. Obviously, we are very excited to play at home. Tiger Stadium, that's what we wait all year for. I know it's going to be a great crowd. Our players are excited. A lot of new coaches, their first time in Tiger Stadium. A lot of new players, their first time in Tiger Stadium. Tiger Walks will be phenomenal. And we have a great week of preparation. Today is Tell the Truth Monday. We're going to treat it as such. Tomorrow will be a combination day between Tuesday and Wednesday. Then we'll get back to No Repeat Thursday and focus Friday and get ready to play the game on Saturday. A little bit about Southeastern. I'm friends with Frank Selfo. He's a fantastic coach. He's a good man. He's a good recruiter. He's going to do great things in Hammond. He's already started. They played ULM very tight. He has an offensive scheme that they run all the right plays, all the right formations, all the right motions. He does a lot of things that give us problems. So when they're working on them right now, he operates out of a spread. He had 31 points per game. He had Chase Virgil, dual threat quarterback with a good arm. Devontae Williams, a good player. And that's good players all over the field there at Southeast Louisiana for his league. And I know that he's going to do a very good job at that. On defense, they're very multiple. They're 3-4. They only have 2 returning starters. Matt Wright, their free safety, and Jamarcus Russell's 2 of their best players. On special teams, we just watched them this morning. Their punt coverage was ranked 14 in their division last year. They have some good players, some good skilled players, so we know that those guys are going to come in there and give us their best shot. It's not going to be about them. It's always going to be about the LSU Tigers. Our goal this week is to prepare each week the same, treat every opponent the same, and prepare at a championship level each week. One of the things that didn't go right in the game was we lost Kelvin Chasson for the year. He will be out for the year, and I just met with Killaban and talked to his grandmother. I feel bad for him. He's a great young man. He had totally dedicated himself to this year, but he's going to get through this. This is going to pass for him, and he'll have a great career down the road. I know his teammates are very sad that he is going to be out the rest of the year, but we're going to have to step up, and guys will step up at that position.
This is the part of the show where we segue into the previewing of the Southeastern game. You mentioned Chris Selfo, the head coach of the Southeastern team. Now, that name sounds familiar to you. Chris Selfo was the former head coach of the Tulane Green Waves some years ago. DC, what do you think about the Coach O interview? Anything in particular?
Go Tigers. But nah, Coach O definitely he covered everything, man. I want to get into this preview of Southeastern. He talked about some of the players that they do have, like you got Chisom Virgil, Juan Pettifree, and Monte Williams on offense. And on defense, you got Marcus Russell, Matthew Wright, linebacker Isaac Rodard. And I just want to note out, the last time we played Southeastern was in 1949 in Baton Rouge, and we beat them 48-7. So I don't know if that's a little bit of things to come. They played a pretty tough game last week against Louisiana Monroe, which they lost in the last 37 seconds. And I don't know, man. You play a team like that, and they're not as talented as the LSU team. That could either go one or two ways. It could either be a heartbreaker for them for the rest of the season, or they could use it as motivation and come out there and give us hell.
Well, like we're saying, a lot of people are expecting this to be a blowout game as LSU welcome Southeastern into Death Valley. And of course, Coach O know, like I know, and all of the Tiger Nation know, is that Death Valley is going to be rocking. You make your call on this one, DC. What do you think happened?
I see LSU winning the game in a blowout fashion, but not anything crazy like 60 or 70 points. I see LSU basically beating Southeastern about 38-10.
I say 42-14. That'll be my score. 42-14 LSU beats Southeastern in Death Valley to go 2-0 on this season. So that'll do it for us here at a Rapid Fire session, as we call this new segment Tough Tiger Talk.
Tough Tiger Talk. Huh?
And of course, Tough Tiger Talk. Say that 5 times in a row. As always, if you guys enjoy the show, please feel free to go to our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/the Media Network. You can contribute one time or you can donate every month. The options are all up on there for you to decide. Also goes to help build a platform so we can continue to deliver to you great content like what we're giving you. Also go join our social media pages. The links are in the description section below. And for me and DC and the crew here at the Sports Coma, peace.
Yo.
What's up, Sports World? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share, and help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.